Madam Mayor, recording has begun.
And gratitude for Councilman Goldsmith's tireless effort in serving our community. Let us pause now in respectful silence as we remember and pay our respects to Councilman James Goldsmith. Thank you. And while we're standing, could you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, Madam Town Clerk, could you do roll call, please?
Councilmember Trolinger,
Present.
Councilwoman Bryant Ward,
Present.
Councilman Jenkins,
Present.
Mayor James, you have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Council, if you've had a moment to look at the agenda, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we adopt the September 26, 2023 meeting agenda as presented.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Goes to the approval of the minutes for September 19th. Do I have a motion?
Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the town council meeting of September 19th, 2023 as presented.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, that brings us to our portion of the agenda that is public comment. If anybody would like to speak, I ask that you please state your name, whether you live in the incorporated town limits, and if you could limit your comments to 3 minutes, that would be very much appreciated. Anyone? You don't want to speak back there? All right, thank you very much. That brings us to our proclamations. The first proclamation we have is our Community Planning Month.
Community Planning Month, October 2023. Whereas change is constant and affects all cities, towns, suburbs, counties, boroughs, townships, rural areas, and other places. And whereas community planning and plans can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices for how people work and live. And whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be meaningfully involved in making choices that determine the future of their community. And whereas community planning and plans are essential to recovery and planners can lead communities to equitable, resilient, and long-lasting recovery. And whereas the full benefits of planning require public officials and citizens who understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation. And whereas the month of October is designated as National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and its territories. And Whereas the celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of planning commissions and other citizen planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of the town of La Plata. And whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by professional community planners of the town of La Plata and extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. And now therefore, we, the council of the town of La Plata, do hereby proclaim October 2023 to be Community Planning Month in the town of La Plata. The council encourages all citizens to recognize and appreciate the dedication and contribution of community planners to enhancing the lives of our citizens and business. Signed by the Town Council of La Plata.
Thank you very much. Our next proclamation is the Pedestrian Safety Month.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Whereas statistics indicate that one pedestrian is hit every 7 minutes and tens of thousands of pedestrians, many of them children and older adults, are hit, hurt, and killed every year. And whereas statistics further indicate that pedestrian impulsiveness is too often a factor in the incidence of injury and death of pedestrians, and whereas statistics further indicate that drivers are not aware of or are ignoring crosswalk laws, and whereas Zero Deaths Maryland reports that Maryland drivers are involved in about 3,000 crashes involving pedestrians every year, and that 1 out of every 4 people killed in Maryland in a traffic crash was a pedestrian. And whereas through continued public awareness, education, and enforcement of Maryland's pedestrian and crosswalk safety laws, death and serious injury can be significantly reduced. And whereas the Council of the Town of La Plata is committed to encouraging a walking downtown in the town of La Plata and wish to help ensure a safe pedestrian environment by promoting education about and enforcement of Maryland's pedestrian and crosswalk safety laws. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the Town of La Plata, do hereby proclaim October 2023 to be Pedestrian Safety Awareness Month in the town of La Plata. The council encourages all citizens to look out for pedestrians, drive with care, and be aware of and comply with Maryland's pedestrian crosswalk safety laws, signed by the mayor as well as town council.
Thank you very much. And the next proclamation is for National Code Compliance Month. And this one is exciting for me because this is the first time we've done this for recognizing our code enforcement officers. So whereas code enforcement officers provide for safety and welfare of the citizens throughout the United States through the enforcement of local codes or ordinances facing various issues of building, zoning, housing, animal control, environmental, health, and life safety. And whereas code enforcement officers often have a challenging and demanding role and often do not receive recognition for the job that they do in improving living and working conditions for residents and businesses of local communities. And whereas the role of many code enforcement officers has expanded in recent years with the increased number of foreclosed and abandoned homes and communities impacted economically. And whereas code enforcement officers are dedicated and highly qualified professionals who share the goals of preventing neighborhood deterioration, enhancing and ensuring safety, and preserving property values through knowledge and application of house, zone, and nuisance codes and ordinances. And whereas code enforcement officers often have a highly visible role in the communities they serve and regularly interact with a variety of state officials, county officials, first responders, legislative boards, commissions, agencies, and bodies. And whereas code enforcement officers are called upon to provide quality customer service and excellence to the residents and businesses of the communities in which they serve. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the Town of La Plata, do hereby recognize October 2023 as National Code Compliance Month in the Town of La Plata. The Council encourages all citizens to recognize and express their appreciation for the dedication and service by the individuals who serve as our code enforcement officers. And I've got to say that, we've got 2 really, really good ones. Aaron and Mitchell, and you couldn't pay me enough to do their job, and they do it with grace and they do it with compassion, and they do a very good job. And I think that is perhaps the hardest job there is in town. So when you see them, give them a little praise for October is going to be their month of for code enforcement officers. And the last proclamation this month is for Walktober.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is near and dear to my heart as well. Whereas this is called walking, where walking is the state of Maryland's official exercise. And whereas walking is known to provide physical and mental benefits that boost our emotional well-being, ease symptoms related to chronic mental health conditions like anxiety and depression, improve cardiovascular health, weight loss and sleep, reduce cholesterol and tiredness, and increase energy and endurance. And whereas walking is a critical component of well-being for people throughout our state, and whereas walking with or without assistance is an activity available to people of all ages and abilities, and whereas walking is a key element of Maryland's transportation and recreation network, and whereas the town of Plata is committed to creating a walkable and sustainable community, and whereas remembering that we are all pedestrians at some point during our day, Walktober brings heightened attention to pedestrian safety in conjunction with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's October National Pedestrian Safety Month. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the Town of La Plata, do hereby proclaim October 2023 to be Walktober in the town of La Plata. The council encourages all citizens and businesses to incorporate walking into their day-to-day lives and operations, and it's signed by the mayor and the town council. And I would just add that through the Maryland Department of Transportation, they offer during the month of October, I believe, 4 free seminars about walking and pedestrian safety. And I believe, I know I've put it on my Facebook page and it might be put out in another post as well, but you can Google it and get it off the Maryland Department of Transportation website. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Manuel?
Yes, Madam Mayor, I would like to invoke my executive privilege to identify that we have erroneously left off the neighborhood grant awards on the agenda. So in
Does
doing
that
so,
mean to give the money back?
yeah, twofold.
We will call them up next. I'm going to have Councilman Jenkins, you're up first with your 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, Dave Jenkins from Ward 4. I do have 2 neighborhood event mini grant recipients. The first I will present to the Clocks Run Citizen Association, and I will just read that in the amount of $500 for the Clocks Run Citizen Association's meet and greet event this 26th day of September, in appreciation and recognition of your participation in the town's neighborhood event mini grant program. Your community spirit is appreciated and is signed by the mayor, and I would ask you to come forward and we can give it to them, present it to them.
Yep, absolutely.
And I would add that these 2 young ladies have been instrumental in revitalizing the homeless association.
Love that. That is great.
Get out of your way. We want to recognize their activities.
Oh, boy. Hang on. One more. Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, Father Goodkin. I think I have one next.
Well, she's up there. Okay.
All
All right. Well, no. Here's your time to speak. Tell us what you are going to be doing. It doesn't have to be 5 minutes. It can be 10 seconds. It's awesome.
It's a great community. My husband and I have been here now 3 years and we love it here. It's one of our favorite places we've ever lived. We've traveled a lot being in the military, so we're very thankful to be here and have this opportunity.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You have another one?
I have another one, but this is the Faith Temple Baptist Church.
We have.
We have somebody
We do.
here. Again, this is a neighborhood event mini grant recipient presented to the Faith Temple Baptist Church in an amount of $500 for their fall harvest trunk and treat.
Excellent, the trunk or treat.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, tell us all about your event.
All right, Madam Mayor, Councilmember, I'm representing Faith Temple Baptist Church, which is the pastor is one of the ministers there, but the pastor's Kevin D. Simmons. We have been doing this trunk or treat for a few years, a couple of years, maybe 3 years, 4 years. But it's really our opportunity to invite the community, especially our young people, to come and we try to open up our trunks, have treats, have music, to make it entertaining and make it something fun. And as Pastor Simmons would often say, and for those who want an alternative to true Halloween, then hopefully we can do that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so this is for Hawthorne Green in the amount of $500 for the holiday gathering. And boy, do they put on quite an event, one of my favorites too. This 26th day of September 2023, in appreciation and recognition for your participation in the town of Plata's neighborhood event mini grant program. So, we'll take the picture. We'll get, and I have to stop talking. Ready, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. See how that works? It's the only time again we stop talking. Tell us about, I know about it. Tell everyone else about it.
Our neighborhood has a holiday party at the beginning of December. All the residents are welcome and the community pays for the event. So the residents don't have to do a thing. And so that's why we're so grateful to have this additional $500 to add to our coffers for this party. All of our mayor, the town council, all of the committee members that helped us select are welcome to attend our event. We would love to have you come.
Are you going to do the hat and glove tree again?
Yes. Yes, we do a charity tree. Everybody here contributes things for children, gloves, underwear, money, whatever you want to give, it's put on the tree and we give it to life size.
Yeah, I don't do the underwear one, I do the hats and gloves. Oh, thank you. And then at the end, we're gonna get a picture with everyone, but thank you so much, I look forward to that.
Good. Hope to
Thank
see
you. Oh, I really love it. Washington Square, and I don't see anybody here from Washington Square, but they also put on quite an event. And theirs is going to be a Christmas dinner, so they will have a Washington Square community Christmas dinner. Well, they will be using this funding to help offset the cost for that. All right, and our next one.
So this neighborhood event mini grant recipient is Christ Church in the amount of $500 for the blessing of pets this 26th day of September 2023 in appreciation and recognition of your participation in the Town of La Plata's neighborhood event mini grant program. Your community spirit is appreciated, signed by Mayor Jeanine James. You're welcome.
All right, tell us all about it.
So we do an annual blessing worship service on Sundays around the time of the Feast of St. Francis, who was known for his love for animals and creation and how they display the glory of God. So this year we decided we'll do the service and then we'll just roll right into a picnic. So we already did the service outside in the field right behind this, between the church and the county building. We're just over there, across from Pizza Hotline. We used to say next to the courthouse, but I realized Pizza Hotline might be better. So the worship service will be outside on the grass. People bring their pets. It'll be pretty brief. I go around and I bless all the pets, and then people are bringing barbecue and all kinds of good stuff, and we'll have some games for children. So please spread the word. We'd love to have everybody.
Thank you very much. And we have one more.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. We have one in the amount of $500 for the Phoenix Run Ice Cream Social. Is anybody here for Phoenix Run? Hey, excellent.
All right.
Yeah, so, hi, everyone. I'm Caprice James. I'm Board Madam Mayor, Town Council members. Thank you for having me. I'm the CEO of Stella's Girls, and we're one of the programs that operate out of the Dorchester Community Center, straight down Kent Avenue. So we are kicking off our tutoring and mentoring programs for this school year. So we're starting with an ice cream social to bring that community together, and hopefully we'll continue with multiple events, because our kids out there are just growing and growing. And so there are lots of kids in that neighborhood. So who doesn't love ice cream? So that's what we're starting off with for this year.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, can we have all our recipients up here and we'll take one big group picture, please? You have them in time for speech if you want. I'll put the hand up behind you guys.
Oh, I think. One, two, three.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to all of you. And thank you online for that. But it's not that easy. It's not that hard to realize, right? Oh. Our neighborhood Oh. And it's done it every single time, but I decided not to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say about. Actually, diversity.
Okay, so now we are back on track. Chief? Does anybody, hopefully you all have seen his monthly report. Are there any questions from the council?
Madam Mayor, just real quick, and I'm sure I don't speak for everybody, but Chief, congratulations on your ascendance to the presidency of the organization.
Appreciate it.
That's well deserved, and you'll do a great job. And just again, the community policing is outstanding, and it's really appreciated. Your engagement with our community is really important. Thank you again.
Appreciate that. We just got our community policing report back from the Maryland Training Commission, and it was quite positive.
Thank you.
Question, but I just want, looking at the data, you know, holding our numbers so consistent, I think that's phenomenal. And I think it's a testament to the work that your force does. So the numbers look really good because they're consistent.
We hope it stays that way.
No questions. Chief, it was good to see you at the Maryland Crime Victims Resource Center Gala. I know, just echoing what Commissioner Jenkins stated, I mean, wherever there's an opportunity to be available for folks in the community, you do that. I think you were one of the only police department representatives in Southern Maryland there that evening, I think. So that was tremendous, because people kept coming up to me and telling us, my wife and I, how great we have it by having you here in the town. So we appreciate
Cost me a lot of money.
Yeah. We appreciate your work. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right, and Director Harrington. Do we have any questions for Director Harrington? Except I need you to make sure that Mitchell and Aaron know that they were recognized tonight, and they are doing a phenomenal job.
Yes, they
So
are.
Thank you, and so are you. Go ahead.
Thank you again, Director Harrington, for the report, and this is maybe slightly off target on the presentation, but I was curious about any additional information about the traffic signal at Charles and Willow Lane coming out of Pine Grove. Any new information?
No, not at this time.
And when do they have to update their traffic report again?
So they just did an update. And so that's currently going through the review cycle. And then it's either, I'm going to say it wrong, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was either a certain number of units or a certain number of years, whichever came first. So they do have a little bit of time in between the next update.
And then just for clarification, the other two entrances will access Washington Avenue, which is a county road, and Rosewood County Road, right? And so they have to comply. I'm assuming they'll be signalized, but they still have to comply with the county requirements, right? In terms
Correct.
of access. And I understand that Rosewood Road, the county has an access management policy.
Yes,
So they're going to have to comply with that as well.
correct. And they did go before the county commissioners last week regarding their entrances onto Rosewick Road.
Yeah, I did read about that. I just wanted to clarify that in case folks didn't know that, because I've been getting a lot of questions about the other entrances and what's going to happen and all that. So thank you.
Any other questions? Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. All right, Director Stahl. Any questions for Director Stahl? Go ahead, Councilman.
Not really a question, but I just wanted to publicly thank Director Stahl and his staff for helping clocks run in the Silver Linden Park. I actually did my daily walk Monday morning, and I saw the work, and it looks terrific. And I saw one of your staff folks there in the truck, and so we had a nice conversation. And so I just wanted to publicly thank you for doing that. And I would say that the staff person said that, well, we're glad that we could please that councilman. And I said, no, it's not for me, it's for the community. And so I just publicly want to say thank you for that.
I would just point out, Councilman Jenkins, it was a great effort, with the Boy Scouts. There was a Boy Scout Eagle project over there. It had taken some time, honestly, to get it done. And to be honest, we had worked with them. He was trying to get it approved as his Eagle project, and that took a little bit of time. And so we do apologize for the community for the delay, but I think it worked out because ultimately it was a good coordination between the young man who was doing the Eagle project, who happens to be our previous mayor, Hale's grandson. And so it worked out well, and that the community then helped him with a lot of effort in that to make it a very nice project. And
It
so
looks terrific.
It went well.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Oh, did you have one? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not a question, but it is another thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for always coming when a resident has a complaint and I call you, you meet me there, you address it and get a solution to it. And I appreciate that. And then on top of it, seeing you guys out there early in the morning and 10 o'clock at night, same guys still working tirelessly, talking like it's the middle of the day. And I'm like, wow, what about commitment? And so we thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you so much.
you.
Glad we.
Great work. Keep up the great work. Thank you. And our treasurer, Ms. Larson. Any questions for our treasurer? Okay, go ahead.
Madam, thank you again for the report, and really great. And the one chart that I like is on, I guess, trying to remember what 54, where it says general fund expenditures, where you're comparing year to date for the current. I think that for me, that's a really good chart to kind of understand where we are budget wise. And I noticed that some of the other charts, there were some, and I know we're only barely into the fiscal year, there are some variances, but so is there any concern about some of those variances yet?
No, I mean, part of it is the prepaids. We have our services, contracted services that have gone up. There's one in the water because of the contract for the wells or the water towers that wasn't there previously. And so when we put these together, you'll see that the first month of the year is always much higher in some of these contracted services because we have all these prepaids that we're moving over. Because we have to recognize that expense in the fiscal year that it was actually, the service was being done.
Okay.
So like the increase, you'll see an increase in the contracted services for inspections compared to the previous years. That means we're doing more inspections, but then you can see the offset of the revenue for that inspections on the next sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And again, that one particular, for me anyway, it's very helpful. Thank you.
So I just have two questions for you. The police department is a huge outlier on the general fund expenditures. Each of 2022 and 2023, same time, same expenses. Can you tell me what attributes to that?
Part of it is salaries. So that's a big part of it. There's also, again, there's contracted services. So you got to look at the benefits and the salaries for the employees for that department. That's one of the bigger ones. I mean, I can give you the breakout of what the salary and the contracted services and supplies are. I mean, let's see, I think there was like 22,000 in weapons that were purchased. I made some notes here on why there's a discrepancy, or let's say a larger variance than normal from the previous month of the last year. But that's, you look at the salary and benefits for the police officers are higher than the other departments, partly because of the types of positions and the number of employees.
So are we looking at this? I'm looking at slide page 53. I don't know what your report says, and it's general fund expenditures for July by department.
Yeah.
And then it looks like around $345,000 for the month of July.
Yeah.
You tell me that's salaries?
No, it's not all salaries. Again, we've got prepaids that are coming in there from services. I mean, I can give you a breakdown of exactly what that was,
Okay.
but I don't have that information
no
here.
worries.
I'm just looking at, and this is like, you can see it every month. They are the more expensive department to run because of the services that they provide.
Last question, any update on the report from Bolton?
I emailed them today. They are still in the process of going through it. I did remind them that we have to have that report by January.
And so you emailed them last week and you got no response from them.
No, I emailed them beginning like September 7th, and they said they were still working on it. And then I sent another email out this morning and they replied that they're still in the process. I reminded them that we have to have that by January because we work on our budget, so we need to review those plans by then.
I believe in their response this afternoon, they indicated we would have something by tomorrow.
Okay.
So we're hopeful.
Okay. We need to push them.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Keep up the awesome work. You've got a big job with that ARPA funding too. All right, and Director Kennedy, come on down. Thank you. I have one question for you that I'll start it off with. Actually, it's not even a question. It's a little praise here. Good job for going in with MML on the cooperative for the RFP for that Time to Care Act. That is the buzz right now in the municipalities.
And that's probably why Bolton hasn't gotten our other stuff back.
Yes, they are. They're panicking a little bit about that. The 15 employees. I mean, it has been the talk of the state. So I saw that, and I'm glad. I knew that you went to the seminar, but thank you for that. I think that's a very wise move, and it gives us some options.
It gives us options, and I think that's the bigger thing, because even though we don't know what those numbers are yet, we probably won't for a little bit longer. It doesn't commit us to one plan or the other, so that when we get both, we can just decide which makes the most sense for us. So,
thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. Just I guess a comment that I'm going to mispronounce this. The velocity.
Velocity.
That's I mean, I'll say we're all part of it, but the interface and the webpage is very, very good.
Okay. Yeah, I was one of the reasons that attracted me to them is user friendly.
I'm having a little bit of problem with the mobile app, but that's operator error.
Yeah,
that's
well, if you want to afterwards, we can talk about
so,
it.
but anyway, so you're having success with it and it's kind of integrated into the system now and everybody's kind of used to it?
Yep, we're still, we still got a lot of stuff going around in the background because we're not 100% on board.
Uh-huh.
There's still some different modules take different amount of times, but we're steadily making progress every day. So, and the team's been very responsive to us.
And again, it seems like it's a great savings in the mid to long
Will
term.
be. And then once we get a few more payrolls under our belt, I'll be able to include that in my slides. That'll actually show you the
Okay.
return on investment. But it takes a couple cycles for them to start getting that data for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. And Director Phipps. Touche. Any questions for Director Phipps? Oh, look at that. It's almost like you.
Madam Mayor, I would like to thank you and the town council for the instant karma in writing the wrongs of the agenda.
I do have a question, but I do have a.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
thank goodness, 'cause I
Sorry.
thought that
I had to spoil the party and ask the question. So any feedback about the new town website?
Not positive or negative, sir, which
Okay.
I take as a positive.
Good.
Well, that's true. And I actually did test out the link to file a complaint or a complaint.
Excellent.
So I know I got the feedback from it already. But that's the idea. I mean, that was the point of trying to have that access so folks can make those kind of requests. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, thank you very much. All right. Now matters of council discussion. Chapter 1 for the general provisions. Thank you for the very clear memo.
Very welcome. But yes, the website is working, so we are getting the notifications.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Council, do we have any questions for Director Harrington on the memo that she sent and the recommendation that we adopt ordinance 23-20 as presented? Look how clear you were. All right. Thank you.
Dang.
Okay, that was good. All right. And Director Stahl. Thank you for your memo and your thoroughness and researching for these 95-gallon trash cans. Does anybody have a question for Director Stahl?
And it's just because of the lead time. We're trying to stay ahead and trying to keep plenty of cans. We are growing, and so therefore giving out a lot of cans. And to be honest, when we started with those tipper cans, some of them are getting replaced. So it is something where we do need to keep a number of cans in stock just because of the growth.
All right, and so I was remiss. I'm going to back up one step, but stay here as well. I'm looking for consensus to move the chapter 1 to legislation. Councilman Challenger,
I'm in support.
Councilman Bryant Ward. Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Jenkins, and that same with the trash container purchases. Councilman Challenger.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, so that's moving to legislation. And now we have ordinance 23-20, chapter 1. Mr. Manuel?
Yes, Madam Mayor and Town Council, as you said, ordinance 23-20, Chapter 1, Article 3, General Penalty. This is actually for first reading. An ordinance concerning Chapter 1, Article 3, General Penalty for the purpose of amending Chapter 1, Article 3, General Penalty to define official empowered and authorized to enforce municipal infractions, to provide manners of remedy or relief to correct, restrain, or rejoin violations of the code of the town of La Plata, to renumber existing sections and all matters generally relating thereto.
Thank you very much. This says second reading, it should say first.
Should say first.
All right, there we go. And then now it brings us to ordinance to resolution 23-34, trash container purchase.
Madam Mayor and Town Council, resolution concerning trash container purchase for the purpose of authorizing the town manager to enter into a contract purchase agreement for the purchase of 360 95-gallon trash carts and all matters generally relating thereto.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to accept resolution 23-34 as presented?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we adopt resolution 23-34 trash container purchases as presented.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. That brings us to our commission reports. Councilman Trollinger.
Yes, thank you. Hold on just a second while I pull this up. As Keep La Plata Beautiful and the Beautification Commission is kind of working together a lot more closely now and will be in the future. I wanted to let everyone know that we have a monthly meeting on October 4th, Monday at 9 o'clock. Just letting you know. So we'll keep you posted. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Brian Ward.
So I did report on the planning commission and the first meeting of this month, but we are looking for an alternate on the planning commission. So if you are interested, have questions, want to ask about it, we meet one Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month. And at 6 p.m. And it's a good commission to serve on. So I will be talking to you shortly.
And you know, I always think that military spouses tend to do a phenomenal job. Yeah, wouldn't you agree, Capricia? And yeah, okay, just putting that out there. All right, Councilman Jenkins.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilman Jenkins, Ward 4, the Parks and Recreation Commission met virtually on the 13th of September. A couple of items that are up for discussion first was a presentation from a representative from the La Plata Youth Soccer Association for perhaps a partnership where they could use Wills Park as a soccer field for practices. And they presented a proposal. So it was a consensus to move that forward. They'll be, if they haven't already, they'll be in discussions with Director Stahl and his staff about that process. And also part of that discussion will be coordination with the county as they move forward on the La Plata Farm Park, which is adjacent to the property. And then we talked about Clarksville Citizens Association. We had a proposal which is accepted to erect a little free library stand at several Linden Park. And so we signed off on that. In fact, it's in place today. So that was a good discussion. And then we received an update with respect to the, and Director Stahl is intimately involved with this, with the Tillman Lake Dam Restoration Project and how that would affect next season, depending upon when the state approved the permit and then when construction could start and how it would affect the park during the peak months. And that was the gist of that, of our meeting last week.
Thank you very much. And the first thing I'd like to bring up to council, of course, we're missing our buddy down there, Councilman Jenkins, listen to me, Councilman Jim Goldsmith. And he served on the Design Review Board and the Historic Preservation Committee. I would like to take his place just temporarily until we find someone that will sit in that seat. And I'm looking to see if council, unless anybody else wants to, but I'm looking to see, since I don't sit on a board right now, and I sat on the DRB for almost 4 years, so I'm quite familiar with that. If there would be a motion in a second, if you so desire for this.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I move that you sit on the Design Review Board in the absence of our colleague, Councilman Goldsmith, until we find a replacement.
And are you okay with the Historic Preservation Committee? I don't think I mentioned that. Because it's the two that he was sitting on, and that one as well.
So I need to amend my motion.
Yeah, of course.
So I'd like to move that you take our colleague, Councilman Goldsmith's place on the two boards that he served on until we can find a replacement.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm
All right, thank you very much. I will try to do a good job on that. And the upcoming events are just 3 exciting things that are going to be happening in the town of La Plata in the next couple weeks. Alpass will be opening. They're having a open house on October 6th. The Farmhouse Cafe, which y'all have been watching, that crepe place that's on Washington, 5695 Washington. They did get their UNO. So I know that they will be opening soon. Please don't flood them and make it just so busy for them. Give them time, but go support them. And the other one is Coffee Bean XYV in the Rosewick Crossing. They are waiting for their sign, but it's a new coffee place and they are going to serve ice cream in there as well. And they're located to the left of Sparkle and Sass. So those are our 3 new businesses that are opening up shortly. And before we close, we have a short tribute to our colleague. If you'll play that, please. Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Woo.